From the Diary of Lee Botts. Saturday, January 20th. Dear Mr. Pretend Henshaw, every time I try to think up a story, it turns out to be like something someone else has written, usually you. I want to do what you said in your tips and write like me, not like somebody else. I'll keep trying because I want to be a young author with my story printed, mimeographed. Maybe I can't think of a story because I'm waiting for Dad to call. I get so lonesome when I'm alone at night when Mom is at her nursing class. Yesterday, somebody stole a piece of wedding cake from my lunch bag. It was the kind Catering by Katie packs in little white boxes for people to take home from weddings. Mr. Fridley noticed me scowling again and said, "So the lunch bag thief strikes again." I said, "Yeah, my dad didn't phone me." He said, "Don't think you're the only boy around here with a father who forgets." I wonder if this is true. Mr. Fridley keeps an eye on just about everything around school, so he probably knows. I wish I had a grandfather like Mr. Fridley. He's so nice, sort of baggy and comfortable. Monday, January 29th. Dear Mr. Pretend Henshaw, Dad still hasn't phoned, and he promised you would. Mom keeps telling me I shouldn't get my hopes up because Dad sometimes forgets. I don't think he should forget what he wrote on a postcard. I feel terrible. Tuesday, January 30. Dear Mr. Pretend Henshaw, I looked in my book of highway maps and figured out that Dad should be back in Bakersfield by now, but he still hasn't phoned. Mom says I shouldn't be too hard on him because a trucker's life isn't easy. Truckers sometimes lose some of their hearing in their left ear from the wind rushing past the driver's window. She says truckers get out of shape from sitting such long hours without exercise and from eating too much greasy food. Sometimes they get ulcers from the strain of trying to make good time on the highway. Time is money for a trucker. I think she's just trying to make me feel good, but I don't. I feel rotten. I said, if a trucker's life is so hard, how come Dad is in love with his truck? Mom said, it's not really his truck he's in love with. He loves the feel of power when he's sitting high in his cab, controlling a mighty machine. He loves the excitement of never knowing where his next trip will take him. He loves the mountains and the desert sunrises and the sight of orange trees heavy with oranges and the smell of fresh mown alfalfa. I know, because I rode with him until you came along. I still feel terrible. If Dad loves all those things so much, why can't he love me? And maybe if I hadn't been born, Mom might still be riding with Dad. Maybe I'm to blame for everything. Wednesday, January 31st. Dear Mr. Pretend Henshaw, Dad still hasn't phoned. A promise is a promise, especially when it's in writing. When the phone does ring, is always a call from one of the women Mom works with. I'm filled with wrath. I got that out of a book, but not one of yours. I am mad at Mom for divorcing Dad. As she says, it takes two people to get a divorce. So I'm mad at two people. I wish Bandit was here to keep me company. Bandit and I didn't get a divorce. They did. Thursday, February 1. Dear Mr. Pretend Henshaw, today there was bad news in the paper. The sugar refinery is going to shut down. Even though Dad hauls cross-country now, I keep hoping sometime he might haul a real big load of sugar beets to Spreckles. Now maybe I'll never see him again. Friday, February 2. Dear Mr. Pretend Henshaw, I'm writing this because I'm trapped in my room with a couple of babies sleeping in baskets on my bed. Mom has some of her women friends over. They sit around drinking coffee or herb tea and talking about their problems, which are mostly men, money, kids, and landlords. Some of them piece quilts while they talk. They hope to sell them for extra money. It's better to stay in here with the babies than go out and say, hello, sure, I like school fine. Yes, I guess I have grown, and all that. Mom is right about Dad and his truck. I remember how exciting it was to ride with him and listen to calls on a citizen band radio. Dad pointed out how hawks sit on the telephone wires waiting for little animals to get run over so they won't have to bother to hunt. Dad says civilization is ruining hawks. Dad was hauling a gondola full of tomatoes that day. He said that some tomatoes are grown specially so they're so strong they won't squash when loaded into a gondola. They may not taste like much, but they don't squash. That day, we had to stop at a weigh scale. Dad had used up enough diesel oil so his load was just under the legal weight, and the highway patrol didn't make him pay a fine for carrying too heavy a load. Then we had lunch at the truck stop. Everybody seemed to know Dad. The waitresses all said, "Well, look who just rolled in, our old pal, Wild Bill," and things like that. Wild Bill from Bakersfield is a name Dad uses on a CB radio. When Dad said, "Meet my kid," I stood up as tall as I could so that they would think I was going to grow up as big as Dad. The waitresses all laughed a lot around Dad. For lunch, we had chicken fried steak, mashed potatoes, lots of gravy, peas out of a can, and apple pie with ice cream. Our waitress gave me extra ice cream to help me grow big like Dad. Most truckers ate real fast and left, but Dad kidded around a while and played the video games. Dad always runs up a high score no matter what machine he plays. Mom's friends are collecting their babies, so I guess I can go to bed now.